Hey, Internet. It's producer Steve. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about the new production Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. In case you don't know, producer Steve has his own channel called The Joker Box, in fact.
Yeah, check it out.
Where he basically is the reincarnation of Heath Ledger's Joker. And does an amazing, I wouldn't even call it an impression. It's like you're like an embodiment of Heath Ledger's Joker. It's really cool.
I'll do an impression later.
Okay. Yeah, I won't.
For $5.
Perform for me now. No, yeah, okay. Go check out his channel if you want to hear him do Heath Ledger's Joker.
I do a lot of skits with his voice and everything. It's a lot of fun type things. But what I also like to do is game online.
Okay.
Is my normal voice like this. And I'll do the impression at various times, and then people will say, like, do the voice.
Right.
Say this line.
Dance for me. Yeah. So yes, we will. It's the same, like doing the comedy thing. You see some of the comedy shows in the back wall. I hate it when somebody goes, "Tell me a joke." And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Well, it's not. I don't hate it, but it seems just silly to me because, like, say, do you know how I got these scars? I'm like, okay, I'll do it again. Yeah. And then the next night you game online at 11 at night and it's like, do the scars line. All right, I'll do
it.
So for everyone there, it's new and exciting, but for me it's like, okay, fine. Like, here's your ticket, enjoy the movie. Here's your ticket, enjoy the... But I have fun with it. Anyway, so...
Well, cool. So I figured you, of all people, because you have this background in the Joker, that you would probably have something to say, perhaps, about this new Joker movie.
Yeah, which is odd because that's another thing I get asked a lot. As soon as someone pops in the live stream, what do you think about this new movie? It's like, I'm not an expert on this, but because, but whatever. So I tell them. So I'll start with that. I like how he looks like a clown.
Okay.
I like that. I hope that they take some of the backstory, like he is from the comics. He's a vaudeville performer. We were talking about that, right? And then he needs the money. He's got a wife who's pregnant. Things hard times, and he's just not making it. And so they go on this bank heist or some kind of heist for money or something. And so anyway, he gets in with the wrong crowd. He's like, should I do this? Should I not? So I hope that they would include that in the film. I like how he looks like a clown as opposed to the Suicide Squad, which I've never seen and I never will.
It's a horrible movie.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
I don't understand.
I have seen it. You're talking about Jared Leto's Joker. Now, to be fair...
Why would you make him look like...
To be fair, Suicide Squad is bad for a number of reasons that have nothing to do with the Joker. The Joker is actually not a major part of Suicide Squad.
That's what I've heard, which I thought about seeing it for that reason.
I don't want to blame Suicide Squad on Jared Leto, but you're right.
But it just doesn't make any sense. That's not the Joker. When I think of the Joker, even though I love Heath Ledger, I always think of Cesar Romero.
Okay, so you're going back to the TV show.
Romero. Yeah, that is the Joker for me. I mean, look at the comics, then look at Cesar Romero.
He looked, admittedly, he looked like he came straight off of a comic strip, which was the intent, and they succeeded.
And he is my favorite one as far as matching comics. He did a great job. Yeah, I love Cesar Romero.
Agreed.
But I love Heath. But yeah, okay, so now this one...
So when you mentioned he looks like a clown, there are we're getting some scene photos. I'll put some of them up if I can find them.
Yep.
And yeah, he looks like a guy who just put on clown makeup. It's different from the Heath Ledger version, where Heath Ledger looks like a guy who's not very good at makeup, putting on his own clown makeup, deliberately screwing it up.
So maybe they will go.
But this one looks like a guy trying to be a clown, but he's not like.
Yeah.
Some super-powered guy.
Maybe that's where he got the idea, because maybe they're telling us from what we've seen so far, they will reach back, because he is a vaudeville performer. He's like, I need a disguise. I don't like the rubber mask. What if I can't see? What if it gets pulled off? And then he sees clowns. I'm gonna call that right now. He sees clowns from the vaudeville, and he's like, let me just do that.
So this is what I know anyway about the production so far. So just to. Most people watching this probably already know this, but basically the DCEU having some troubles. They've got Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill may or may not be returning. It seems like more likely than not they're not coming back as Batman and Superman. There's been some turnover with the higher ups, and so they're not even claiming it's connected to the DCEU. It's a completely standalone movie. And obviously they're not using Jared Leto, so they're like, it's not connected to that.
Good.
This is just our own telling of the Joker. And originally it was, when it first came out, I was like, what? And because it was Martin Scorsese and Leo DiCaprio as Joker, and I was like, what? Now, both of those guys, I think maybe Martin Scorsese is still like an executive producer, but he's not involved in the directing of this movie at all. But Joaquin Phoenix, still an incredibly exciting actor to be playing Joker. And so the pictures, the photos have been him dressed up in clown makeup. We know that he's a failed stand-up comedian. Robert De Niro is playing a nightclub. He's playing a nightclub owner.
That's cool.
The implication is that maybe this nightclub owner's like, you're no good, kid. Get out of here, you. And
that's interesting. We've never seen that before.
But interestingly, Robert De Niro played a part that was kind of similar to what this premise is. Right? It was the King of Comedy. This is back in the day. Robert De Niro played a guy who wants to be a comedian / talk show host. He's failed at it. He ends up kidnapping Jerry Lewis, who is a famous talk show host. He kidnaps him and is like, I'll let you go if you put me on your show. And he ends up becoming like he becomes popular.
Was this an old movie?
Yeah, it's an older
when
film.
Jerry Lewis, they were in there.
Yeah, so this is back, and so Robert De Niro was playing the guy trying to get famous. In this case, it seems like it's flipped, where Robert De Niro is now I'm the well-established guy who says you suck.
Yeah.
But we also do see a shot of a couple of screen images of Joaquin Phoenix without makeup on. And he's outside of what looks like a comedy club.
Yeah.
And there is a clown standing on the street, and he's like, pulls the guy's nose off and throws it. So you can imagine it's a situation where that guy just came off a performance like, oh, the clown got a part and I got kicked out. Screw you, clown.
When I was watching that clip, during the filming, it always looks kind of silly, but there's no music, there's no anything. He pulls the nose off and he throws it like, it looked like a thespian thing to me. It looked kind of cheesy and lame. But with the right camera angle and the music and the drama, it's going to look really good.
Yeah, and you get the feeling he's a little off, too, right?
Like he's...
which is what Joaquin Phoenix does very well.
Right. I got the feeling like Joaquin was like, well, I'm someone now. Screw you in your nose, whatever.
Oh, okay. I got it more of like I resent you because you got a gig in that club and I didn't, but maybe you're right.
If you look at his face, to me, it might be that way, but it kind of feels like, I don't need you, I am somebody now. Or maybe it was after the first heist and he's confident, like, I can make 10 times the amount of money in one night than I can here all week. I don't know. His face just looked very smug, like, I don't need you anymore.
We've seen some other pictures of him in the back of a cop car dressed up as a clown, like he's been arrested.
I saw a photo of him standing in a phone booth, making a phone call with like a jumpsuit, a tan jumpsuit, face makeup, a clown mask actually, and there's like garbage bags all around him. So it's like maybe he was on a pier or something in a seedy part of town. That was a pretty cool shot.
So whether or not Joaquin Phoenix can play an unbalanced character or not, he can. I know The Master. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He and Philip Seymour Hoffman are awesome. He plays a World War II vet who's an alcoholic, and he's kind of emotionally unbalanced, and he ends up being kind of the equivalent of joining like a cult, so like a Scientology type cult thing. But he plays a guy who's not all there very convincingly, and I could see that. A version of that character, coming out as the Joker, in other words.
I wonder what his voice will sound like.
Yeah.
Like with Heath, it was amazing because still to this day, as many times as I've seen The Dark Knight, I cannot see Heath's face or hear his voice through the character, and that's awesome. So Joaquin, it'd be great if he can disguise his voice to be other than what he normally sounds like. That'll be great, because then we all know it's Joaquin, but when you hear him, I want to hear.
You're right. There's the famous, we haven't mentioned him yet, but Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker is like, oh wow, that's really cool. And you can hear a little Mark Hamill in him, but it's
just a little
tough.
But it's tough. Yeah.
So,
but I like that because you can't see any Heath in the makeup, and you can see a little bit of Joaquin, but It's not bad. So I wonder how far they're going to take this film. Like, will there be, probably there's not going to be any Batman in it.
Yeah, see,
so I'm thinking it'll be just like his origins, how he becomes the Joker and what he does and things, how he's rising to power. So how will that climax, though, if there's no superhero in it?
The way it's, the connection is that they're showing, apparently they've got Bruce Wayne's dad. So they got Thomas Wayne, who's like running for mayor.
Okay.
And he's kind of a big political type.
Okay.
And
that
he's going to have something to do with the origin story. Apparently, though, they're going to make him kind of jerky.
Okay.
As opposed to the typical Thomas Wayne is like, I'm a philanthropist, rich philanthropist who got shot down in an alley at some point. And will never see me again. But in this case, they're kind of doing...
That would be really good, yeah.
So, anyway.
That would have to be part of it. And then you're going to have to show the young boy. That's such a terrible scene, but young Bruce...
Well, I mean, will they end maybe with Thomas Wayne getting shot? Maybe that's the ending. As opposed to, it's always the beginning, of the Batman movies is always the slow motion, pearls fall kind of thing.
Right.
And maybe this would be, they're like, all right, let's just do everything up to that, and then we'll show that moment. And maybe it's the Joker shooting.
They'd have to find a way to resolve that, though, because to end on that high note would be weird.
Well, it's just that everybody knows what comes after that, right? Oh, you're going to inspire the little kid in the alley to become Batman, who's eventually going to take you down.
What would be good is if they didn't show that scene, because everybody knows what's going to happen.
That's true. Maybe they just show up to it.
Right. Maybe like they're walking.
Let's walk down this alley.
Yeah, and then he's talking to one of his thug guys. Yeah, we got another score the other night, so don't forget about tomorrow. He's like, yeah, see you tomorrow, whatever. And he's lighting a cigarette or something, and then he goes into the alley of darkness. And they just walked in an alley, and you assume.
Right.
And then roll credits
Fade
there.
to black, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe something happens. I don't know where you would take it after that.
But I think you're right that they're not going to have a Joker faces Batman moment.
Yeah, I think no.
Which would be one way to end a movie like that, where you got an origin story, and it's like, and now I'm the Joker. But I don't think they're going to. The timing is wrong in terms of.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the director, who is Todd Phillips. I don't really like anything this guy's ever directed before. Because he's a writer-director, so he writes and directs stuff, and I think he's helping to write this. That's what makes me like, ooh. So he's most known, I think, for the Hangover movies, the Hangover trilogy.
I'm not into that. But and it's funny,
he did like the Starsky and Hutch parody. It's kind of mediocre comedy.
So now he's directing like a raw, dark...
I know, yeah. I mean, the closest thing... I mean, if you put a gun to my head and you were like, you have to watch a Todd Phillips movie. I'd probably watch his last movie, as far as I think it's his last movie, War Dogs, which was Jonah Hill and Miles Teller as gun runners working for the government. It's okay. It's not great, but it's at least maybe got a little dark. It's comedy. It's comedic, but
who chooses these directors?
I don't know. I don't know how he got chosen, but I'm just saying.
Maybe he's versatile, but
maybe
I wouldn't choose him.
Even if you really love the Hangover movies, I don't. But there are plenty of people who probably do. It's not. That's not really a resume builder for. And now you're doing a superhero movie,
right?
And I get that this isn't a traditional superhero movie,
or a dark origins film.
It's like Anyway, so that's where, if you were to ask me, what's the one part of this whole scenario so far that worries you the most? I would say it's Todd Phillips writing and directing.
I didn't know about that. There's going to be some keg party. Joker's going to walk in and
he's going to wake up
go
and
in a room,
try to figure out why he ended up on the roof of the hotel that night.
He's going to be in bed with. There's going to be some. Whatever, goat in the room for some reason. I don't know.
Right, got to figure out where the goat came from. The one through line through his movies that maybe could pay off in this is that it's actually a negative comment, but maybe it works for the Joker. None of his heroes are likable. Like he doesn't paint anyone as a hero. So you're following jerks who kind of get away with being jerks throughout the course of a movie. That's his standard MO. So maybe you've got the Joker is a jerk who gets away with being a jerk, but you don't really...
Who goes on a road trip to buy beer for people.
Yes, maybe.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and now I don't think I want to see this film.
Oh, I didn't mean to ruin the film for you.
Phoenix mentioned that he always wanted to do this role, and who wouldn't, to be honest, right? You get this role, It's like, you're not like, well, I never really thought of it, but So anyway, he said his idea of this film is to take away the fluff and make it raw, which is great.
Yeah.
So maybe, hopefully, he'll have some input, and he'll put some of that feeling into the film. He wanted it to be like not many effects. He wanted it raw, just kind of simple, and focus on story, which is great.
There's talk of it that it may be an R-rated movie.
Yeah, it should be.
You know, so in some ways, I'm comparing it then to something like Logan, for instance, which was a kind of a more bare-bones superhero story about Wolverine, and it was R-rated. It was very gritty. It was a great movie, actually. I really, really liked Logan a lot. I'm not saying that this is going to be like that, because I don't foresee it being as violent, but hell, maybe it will be. But that, you know, if that's the angle they're going with, a cheaper kind of, a more bare bones look at a particular villain in this case, or a superhero or supervillain, and just show more of like a street level type. This is how they get by in their day and stuff like that. I mean, I think if that's the model they're using, it's a good model in this world where everything else seems to be connected. It's like, no, we're just going to do a standalone, simple movie about this guy that's a really intriguing character. Enjoy, everyone. Yeah.
I think it'll be good if they keep it raw and focus on a really good story, because that's lacking in a lot of films. So that's why I was really excited when I heard that Scorsese was going to be doing it. It's like, oh man, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But no.
But well, one day perhaps. But for now, we'll just see what happens. But so far, everything looks encouraging.
Yeah.
So if you have any thoughts on whether you think this film's gonna be something worth watching, let us know in the comments. Maybe if you've got a different favorite Joker.
Who's
put
your
that
favorite?
Down. Obviously, this guy would probably say Heath Ledger. Well, no, you mentioned Cesar Romero. So.
I'd put them right together with each other.
Okay.
Heath, because his performance was outstanding, but Cesar Romero because he's very true to the comic, visually and just how he acts.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Cesar Romero. Love him. And he's the reason why I like the Joker so much. And Heath came in and blew us away. I mean, when I found out Heath was going to play the role of the Joker, I thought, what?
Sure.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I love Heath. He's a phenomenal actor, but what?
But it's also great because...
And people made fun of that.
What's cool is, because you have Jack Nicholson, also we haven't even mentioned, who, kind of put his stamp on that role too.
But not really, because everything Jack is in, it's always Jack. The Shining, the Joker, it's always Jack. It's always the same.
Agreed that it's not as iconic as, say, Heath Ledger's version. But what was cool about Heath Ledger is he took a character that most people would think, you put makeup on and you do the voice and you're the Joker. Like, he took a part and made it completely his own, a part that's so recognizable that to make it your own seems almost impossible, and he pulled that off. So that's kind of what I'm looking for maybe with Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's the kind of actor that's going to be like, I don't want to do the Cesar Romero. I'm going to do something different, and I'm going to
Heath
own
was
it.
different than Cesar Romero, but he still was a believable Joker. You're right. So let us know what you guys think. Check out the video description for more information.
And if you want to hear his Heath Ledger impression, go to the Joker Box.
The Joker Box, link below, and thejokerbox.com.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching.